Michelle Yeoh's Section 31 is a perfect way for Star Trek to introduce young Picard. Michelle Yeoh's Paramount Plus movie, Star Trek, Section 31, would be the perfect way for Star Trek to introduce a younger Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart. In Section 31, Yeoh reprises her role as Star Trek Discovery's Emperor Philippa Georgiou. After the U.S. Discovery jumped to the 32nd century, Georgiou needed to return to a time when the Prime Universe and Mirror Universe were closer together. The Guardian of Forever, Paul Guilfoyle, sent Philippa Georgiou back to the early 24th century, also known as Star Trek's Lost Era, between Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, and Star Trek, The Next Generation. Few Star Trek projects have been set in the Lost Era before Star Trek, Section 31, but Star Trek, The Next Generation has occasionally referenced this elusive part of the Star Trek timeline. Star Trek, The Next Generation Season 6, Episode 14, Tapestry, spends a significant amount of time in the Lost Era when Hugh, John Delancey, takes Picard to his first year out of Starfleet Academy in 2327. Wesley Crusher, Will Wheaton, views a posthumous recording of his father, Lieutenant Commander Jack R. Crusher, Doug Wirt, in TNG Season 4, Episode 2, Family. Section 31 could introduce young Picard to Star Trek. Star Trek, Section 31 could introduce a younger version of Jean-Luc Picard to Star Trek. Depending on when Star Trek, Section 31 takes place, Picard would be either a Starfleet Academy cadet or in the early days of his Starfleet career. Promotional material doesn't include a younger Picard on Georgiou's Section 31 team, so if Picard is anywhere near Star Trek, Section 31's action, it's most likely going to be just a cameo. An Easter egg might reference Picard as an ensign aboard the U.S. Reliant or even the young captain of the U.S. Stargazer, if it's after 2333. Star Trek, Section 31 features the 33-year-old Casey Roll as the future U.S. Enterprise sees Captain Rachel Garrett, previously played by Tricia O'Neill. The Star Trek novels place Garrett's Starfleet Academy graduation around 2315, assuming Garrett was about 21 when she graduated, and in her 30s during Section 31, the setting of Star Trek. Section 31 could be anywhere from 2324 to 2333. While Picard appearing in Star Trek, Section 31 is unlikely, it might not be that far out of bounds for Picard to have a history with Section 31. TNG's Tapestry showed that Jean-Luc was far more reckless in his youth than the distinguished U.S. Enterprise captain that Picard eventually becomes. Section 31 agents aren't really allowed to retire or even refuse service, so Captain Picard's morals aren't really relevant if Ensign Picard jumped at the chance for espionage. Picard's secret mission in TNG Season 6, Episodes 10 and 11, Chain of Command, might have even been a Section 31 operation. Young Picard allows Star Trek to bring in young Jack and Beverly Crusher. A young version of Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek would also pave the way for Star Trek to introduce younger versions of Dr. Beverly Crusher, Gates McFadden, and Lieutenant Commander Jack R. Crusher. Star Trek, The Next Generation alluded to the strong friendship between Jean-Luc and Jack, which expanded to include Jack's fiancée, Beverly Howard. The trio of Jean-Luc, Jack, and Beverly would have certainly gotten up to their fair share of adventures before Lieutenant Commander Crusher's 2353 death. Admiral Picard recounts one such adventure to his son, also named Jack Crusher, Ed Spaliers, in Star Trek, Picard Season 3. Younger versions of Picard have appeared in Star Trek before, but wouldn't be eligible to return. Tom Hardy's Shinzen was a clone of Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek. Nemesis and David Birkin played a 12-year-old Jean-Luc in Star Trek. The Next Generation Season 6, Episode 7, Rascals. Interestingly, both Hardy and Birkin are 47 years old in 2024. the same age that Patrick Stewart was when Stewart began playing Captain Picard in Star Trek: The Next Generation. Star Trek Section 31 would have to recast a much younger actor to play Picard in his 20s, so it's possible.